Monologue on a whole life written on a door. I want to testify. It happened 10 years ago, and every day it's still happening to me now. Right now, it's always with me. We lived in Pripyat, that same town the whole world knows about now. I'm not a writer, but I am a witness. Here's how it was from the very beginning. You're living your life, an ordinary fellow, a little man just like everyone else around you. Going to work, coming home from work, on an average salary. Once a year you go on holiday. You've got a wife, children, and almost had a guy. And then just like that, you've turned into a Chernobyl person. A curiosity, some person that everyone shows interest in, but nobody knows much about. You want to be the same as anyone else, but it's no longer possible. You can't do it. There's no going back to the old world. People look at you through different eyes. They ask you questions. Was it terrifying? Tell us about when the reactor was on fire. What did you see? Can you still, have children? So your wife hasn't left you. In the beginning, we all turned into some kind of rare exhibits. Just the word Chernobyl still acts like an alarm. They all turn their heads to look at you. Oh, from that place. That's what it felt like in the first days. We lost not just a town, but a whole life. On the third day, we left our home. The power plant was on fire. Something one of my friends said stuck in my head. You can smell the reactor. The smell was indescribable, but everyone has read about that in the papers. They turned Chernobyl into a factory of horror stories, or rather cartoons, but it needs to be understood, because we have to live with it. I'll tell you just my own story. This is what happened. They announced on the radio, you can't bring any cats with you. My daughter was in tears. She was so afraid of losing her beloved cat that she began stammering. Alright, let's put the cat in the suitcase, but the cat wouldn't go in. She was struggling to get out. She gave us all the good scratch. We weren't allowed to take any belongings. Right, I won't, but there's just one thing I will take, just one. I needed to remove the door to our apartment and take it with us. I couldn't leave the door behind. I would board up the entrance. The door was our talisman and heirloom. My father lay on that door. I'm not sure where the custom comes from. They don't do it everywhere, but in our parts, according to my mother, the dead have to be laid on the door from their home. They lie on it until the coffin is brought. I sat the whole night with my father and he lay on that door. The house was open all night. And the same door is covered in notches right to the top. It was marked as I grew. A notch for 1st grade, 2nd grade, 7th grade, one from just before I left for the army. And the next to that, you can see my son growing up and my daughter. Our whole life is written on that door like on an ancient papyrus. How could I leave it behind? I asked our neighbor for help. He had a car. He tapped his finger on the side of his forehead, indicating, "You have a screw loose, my friend." But I took it, the door, one night, on a motorbike along the forest road. I took it 2 years later, when our apartment had already been looted, picked clean. The police were chasing after me. "Stop or we'll fire! Stop or we'll fire!" They took me for a looter, of course. It's like I was stealing my own front door. I sent my wife and daughter to the hospital. They had black spots spreading all over their bodies. They'd spring up and then fade away, the size of an old 5-kopeck piece. But nothing was hurting. They were checked. I asked, "What's the result then?" "That's not your concern." "So whose concern is it then?" At the time, everyone around was saying we were all going to die. By the year 2000, the Belarusians will have died out. My daughter had turned 6 on the very day of the accident. When I put her to bed, she'd whisper in my ear, "Daddy, I want to leave." I'm only little. I didn't think she'd understand anything. Whenever she saw a nurse in a white coat at the kindergarten or a cook in the canteen, she'd go crazy. I don't want to go to hospital. I don't want to die. She couldn't stand anything white. We even changed the white curtains in our new place. Can you imagine 7 bold girls together? There were 7 of them in the ward. No, that's it, I can't go on. Talking about it gives me the feeling like my heart is telling me this is an act of betrayal, because I have to describe her as if she was just anyone, describe her agony. My wife came back from the hospital. Her nerves snapped. If only she'd die rather than going through this torture. If only I could die so I wouldn't have to see this. We put her on the door. On the door my father once lay on, until they brought the little coffin. It was so tiny, like the box for a large doll, like a box. I want to testify. My daughter died from Chernobyl, but they want us to keep quiet. It hasn't been scientifically proved, they say. There isn't enough data. We'll need to wait hundreds of years, but my human life is too short. I can't wait that long. Write it down. You record it at least. My daughter's name was Gadzia, my little Gadzia. She was 7 years old when she died. Nikolai Fomich Kalugin, father.